former defensive coordinator of the Browns and interim head coach, Gregg Williams, along with his son, Blake Williams, on what the Browns need to do this offseason. This is from the Come Get Some podcast.
Number one thing is they've got to do a better job now. They've got to get some more offensive line help. Okay, you know, they played the most different combinations of offensive linemen because of the injuries. Some of those quality reps right there will be good backup reps, but can we increase the quality, especially at the tackle positions? Okay, can we do that and get better there?
Yep, no doubt. And speaking of the offensive line, our guy Andy Dickerson,
yeah,
the new offensive line coach that we coached with for 4 years when he was the assistant offensive line coach with us at the Rams. And this is actually his second stint at the Browns. He was actually at the Browns back under Mangini.
So we'll dive into that a little bit. It is kind of an overlooked area of need, offensive line. Yeah, for so long you've said, well, they're set, they're great, they're one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah, and they highlighted it's the tackle position for me that is a huge area of concern, and it's just uncertainty. You know, you have Jed coming back on his 5th-year option, you're overpaying for Conklin, but you got this third guy who you're not paying much to, DeJuan Jones, that must see the field. There's a musical chair thing going on here. Someone's going to be left without a seat. But you also have to understand this is a highly injured offensive line. So, like, there has to be a major addressing, like, the depth. Because with Conklin's injury history, I can't even rule out that he might even retire. That's where I'm at with him. And with Jed, he started to play well right before he got hurt. But once again, the availability wasn't there, and you're playing guys off the street. You know, they have a lot to figure out there, and offensive tackle, for me, is like the top priority this offseason.
All right, along those lines, let's take a look at Pro Football Focus grades. And again, I'm not saying this is the be-all or the end-all. It is kind of an objective grading system of offensive linemen. And again, these are not what we're used to from Browns offensive lineman grades. Jedrick Wills, 56. Bitonio, almost 68. Posick and Teller, 72 and 7. And Teller's almost 74. Jones, 65.5. If he gets the run blocking up, that'll go up. Christian, the guy that they signed off the streets, just over 46.5. And James Hudson, 49.3. So your swing tackles and your backup tackles didn't grade out very well. Those were the guys that were playing at the end of the year.
Yeah, and the guys, some of those didn't even, weren't on the roster, and there was a lot of scrambling to get those guys ready to play. But this is a concern for me, and I'm with you. PFF isn't the be-all, end-all, but it's a useful tool. That can't be the grades. You're paying this offensive line to perform. They're paid like a top unit in the league, and they have to perform as such, or this thing doesn't go. That has to be a strength. Now, familiarity, you're used to seeing those names. You could expect bounce backs from several of those guys. I think those grades were low for Joel, to be honest with you. I thought he played better than that. But I think just looking at those grades, the strength is still the interior, and you have question marks on the outside. And you're paying some of the outside guys some money. You need to produce. So there needs to be an influx of talent. And now that we have a new offensive line coach, we'll see what kind of implementations are from a schematic standpoint to where they try to shore up some areas. If he tries to bring some of his guys with him, I think that's always something you look at when you get a new coordinator. Is they're going to look at the tape, they're going to evaluate, and they're going to have to make some decisions. And the Browns have some serious decisions to make at the tackle position specifically. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see one of the guys in the interior either shuffled around or traded or cut.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on the offensive line, and the other thing is you may ask him to do different things. Your guards are a little bit older and a little bit more beat up. You might ask him to do some different things on that line with a new offensive line coach.